2. East Hampton Village Board, we are live.
Good morning, everybody. Today is January 24th, 2025. Happy New Year to everyone. Could I have everybody stand for a pledge? Pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First up is Mr. King.
Thank you. I want to clarify something. The last time I was here, we read some of the essays from Route to 27, the group of people who are improving their language skills, and they go to classes, and I gave the board some of their essays, and when we were reading the essays, some of the comments about me took over, and that wasn't the idea of this anyway. The mayor didn't believe any of them, so I just hope you all read them again with that in mind, okay? All right, today we're going to talk about another police chief, Francis Leddy. He was in the village police department from 1937 to 1968. He was born on June 22nd, 1906 in New Jersey, but he accompanied his father to East Hampton in 1929, where they began a private security service known as the Rumson Patrol. He joined the village police department as a special patrolman in August 1932, became a permanent patrolman 2 years later, and at the age of 31 became chief of the department in 1937. He was a graduate of the New York State Police School at Troy. Mr. Leddy studied at the National Police Academy in Washington, D.C. And in 1950, he took 2 years leave of absence to work with the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Richmond, Virginia, in New York City. On January 1st, 1968, Mr. Leddy, near retirement, became the head of the village's newly created detective division, while then Lieutenant Carl J. Dortelman replaced him. Among Mr. Leddy's lifelong interests were golfing, photography, gardening, and nature. I think one of the lasting images or points that we should have about Fritz Leddy is those pictures he took that are here in this building. They're a wonderful window into what life was like in the 1940s and the 1950s in East Hampton. And I think if you go all around this building, you'll see those pictures. I think that's probably one of his lasting legacies. That's all I got. And the LVIS is older than the village.
Thanks, you. Next up is Joyce Tuttle, LVIS.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mayor Larson. Thank you, Board of Trustees, for the partnership and the collaboration that we all have together. I'd like to introduce a couple of people who have come with me from LVIS. Russell Cradaville, our Director of Finance and Development. Andrea Cooper is the Chair of our Finance Committee. You'll hear from her in a few minutes. Diane Benson, Chair of the Nature Trail Committee. Lori Petrosky is here today. Leslie Clark could not be with us, but Lori represents the Greens and Grounds, and Olivia Brooks, Trees. And we have our former illustrious fair pair, Bonnie Pizzorno and Pam Cataletto, who ran the fair for 9 years.
Thanks. Welcome, everybody.
As one of the oldest continuing operating civic organizations in the United States, as you just said, we're older than the Incorporated Village. LVIS is proud of the work that we do in beautifying and preserving East Hampton's landscape and serving as a cornerstone institution in the lives of its citizens. Formed 130 years ago, this is our 130th year, we are proud of the many generations of women who have joined our ranks to ensure East Hampton is one of the most beautiful villages, small towns in America. We are dedicated to the goal now, as our founders were in 1895. We have over 300 members, many of whom contribute individually more than 500 hours annually. They work on many of the 30 committees that we have. We actually had some fun recently in celebrating some of the volunteers who have done 40 and 50 years of service or more. This not only includes incredible work that's done on behalf of the village to support the trees, the greens, the nature trail, and historic landmarks, but also in processing and selling the merchandise in our beloved thrift shops. We host community events, and of course, we have our annual fair that's such a draw for so many people beyond our community. Our longstanding partnership with the village is critical of our work, and we are proud of what we have accomplished together. Like you, we serve the community both directly and by augmenting the village's budget with our mission. In 2023, we signed a long-term agreement with the village in order to rent the historic old garages next to Herrick Park, where we store and accept and process the many donations that we see from such a generous community. The lease will ensure the smooth operation of our mission for many years. In December, we partnered on Santa Fest and had the LVIS open house and a look at how we could work together towards 2025. It was a great event. Andrea is going to show you a chart in a few minutes that represents the 2025 approval of the LVIS community programs budget that pertains to both village-owned assets and other investments in our East Hampton community. With our tree committee, we have such a tree-rich environment in East Hampton. The LVIS works to care for over 3,500 trees and to plant new ones. It's likely one of the oldest private public tree programs in the United States. We do this in a couple of ways. From April to October, the tree committee ladies tend to plaques along the village streets. We clean the enclosures along Main Street and Newtown Lane, and along the way, the observant ladies are able to provide eyes on the ground as they work with the village trees, reporting any trees that look distressed and following up with the necessary treatment. We have a Little Trees program where we plant new street trees that are organically treated by a local landscaping company, and we do this for 3 consecutive years. The tree replacement program will replace any village street trees that have died. Dead or downed trees are replaced with a variety of species, including lindens, London planes, sawtooth oaks, and numerous disease-resistant elms. The Elm Care program started in the 1950s. The LVIS began a vigorous battle against the Dutch elm disease that was devastating elm trees throughout our country. Today, the LVIS, in partnership with the village, watches 120 elm trees in consultation with Cornell University. Village elms are treated yearly. The Memorial Dedication Tree Plaque Program currently maintains about 700 village memorial plaques. The Greens Program is something that's been going on since 1907. It's a unique public-private partnership with the village. We take responsibility for the mowing, irrigation, and organic care of all the greens on Main Street, from Town Pond and the flagpole area to Hook Mill Memorial and the large open space beginning at Pantago Road. A significant part of our budget goes towards this community program. The Landmarks Committee of the LVIS consistently is involved in maintaining our heritage by supporting historic preservation and includes identification of village historic districts. In the past several years, the LVIS has made sizable donations for repairs to the South End Cemetery and the restoration of the Domini Shops, a woodwork and clock shop that has been moved to its original location on North Main Street. The LVIS Nature Trail Committee feeds and closely monitors the health of our diverse waterfowl and birds. We also partner with the village and the Garden Club of East Hampton to remove downed branches, limbs, and litter, cut back phragmites and bamboo, and remove vines from the trees. We have the planter program that provides flowers for the green enclosures that are along Main Street, Newtown Lane, and line the median by the Stop and Shop. Other community events that support all of the things that we like to do together include the annual fair, The LVIS hosts other events like our Easter egg hunt, Halloween party, landmarks luncheon, and the LVIS open house includes a visit with Mrs. Claus. This year, a number of our ladies participated in Santa Fest, wrapping Christmas presents at the Village Hall, and we also had hosted the petting zoo and pony rides on our lawn. And we look forward to doing it again because it was just a marvelous opportunity for everybody to enjoy the things in the village. I am going to now introduce Andrea Cooper, who's going to tell you about our community budget.
Thank you. Thank you, Joyce. I'm just charged with explaining a little bit about how we get to the point that we are at. There are 30 committees, plus committees for the LVIS. Between September and December, we hand out papers to them listing so that they can list what requirements they need for the coming year. And they return those to us, the requests. We review and revise them. The committee then deliberates and proposes. So by November, we have finished that process. We present it to the board in December. And January, this year it was January 11th, the entire membership met and voted and approved the budget. That proposed budget, we have a copy of it just so that you have a visual. If you'll hold that up, please. Maybe, yeah, good. You can see the different items that we spend our money on: landmarks, scholarship, village trees, village greens, and the Gardner Brown property, totaling $785,695 is spent on the community. The all other $13,000, that includes the flower pots that we have in the island between Stop and Shop and the stores there, and other things that we do for the community. In partnership with the village, we are caring for the trees, the greens, the landmarks, the flower planters, and the nature trail with the garden club. In the last 5 years, we have given $1,255,679 to these projects. In addition, we have raised $735,766 that went toward high school scholarships. That's what we do with our money.
Amazing.
One final word. LVIS is pleased to play an integral part in keeping the village of East Hampton one of the most beautiful places in America. We look forward to continuing to work alongside Dave Collins and his dedicated team at the Department of Public Works. On behalf of the entire organization, thank you, Mayor Larson. Thank you, trustees. Thank you, Marcos. What a pleasure.
Thank you. I would just like to say the LVIS is a wonderful organization, obviously, and you all work so hard. And it's so clear how much dedication and how much money is given to this village. And you've been around for such a long time, and you go back and you look at the history. It's even on your website about how you saved Town Pond, and it's just wonderful. So from my heart, I thank you so much for all the hard work you do, and we love having the relationship that we have with you, and that will continue forever, I hope. So thank you very much. All right, next up is Joseph Duda. This is a very interesting, if anybody wants to leave, you should leave now.
This once every 2 years.
Yeah, it seems like it's more often, actually.
It does. It does. It's a very quick 2 years.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Larson. Thank you, Board of Trustees. I am Joseph Duda of Duda Actuarial Consulting. And once every 2 years, we perform evaluation of the post-retirement medical benefits that your employees receive. We value the liability, we show you the cost of those benefits, and I come out and present this report, which I believe you should have a copy of. It's Village of East Hampton, GASB 75. We did the valuation as of July 31st, 2024. GASB 75 is an accounting standard that it actually appears in your audit, okay? Your auditor will not issue financial statements unless they have these calculations. Even though you're not funding the benefit, I still have to go through the process of doing a valuation and telling them what the liability is for that promise that you made to your employees, okay? So that's what we're about to discuss here. Now, if you go past the letter from myself to Marcos, you'll see a page. It's entitled Actuarially Determined Contribution Village of East Hampton OPEB Plan. OPEB stands for Other Post-Employment Benefits. Of course, all the employees of the village receive a retirement benefit from the New York State, okay? But this is another benefit that they get. And, without further ado, let's go through some of the numbers. For this purpose, we valued the liability associated with 87 actives and 62 retirees. So we had about 149 participants. And as you can see at the bottom of the page, the net OPEB liability comes out to about $24.3 million. Now that is up from last year's figure. Okay, last year's figure was around 21.3. The reason why it is up is because your retiree, or actually your medical premiums, increased pretty significantly, and Marcos and I were talking about that earlier, since the last valuation. We're assuming, if you just hold that page for a second, and if you go back to page 5, I believe. Okay. Actually, excuse me, page 6. You'll see the medical inflation that I assume in the valuation. I assume that premiums are going to go up 6.5% the first year, decreasing by 0.5% per year to an ultimate rate of 5%. So what that means is 6.5% in the first year, 6% in the second year, 5.5% in the third year, and then 5% thereafter. And post-65 inflation for Medicare benefits, 4.5% per year. And the premiums were up quite significantly, maybe like around 20 to 25%, especially for the post-65 retirees that you have. So that brought the number up, okay, to about 24.3 million. So if you go back to that chart, what does this all mean? Okay, if you were to fund the benefit, although you can't fund the benefit under New York state law, but if you were to fund the benefit, up at the top, we have normal cost, which is $365,275. That's the cost of benefits accruing for 1 year for the 87 actives. And then the next item, the amortization of the unfunded liability, amortizing it over 30 years, that's like a mortgage payment towards the 24.3 million. So that comes out to be $1,343,020. Okay, and then you give interest to the end of the year. What we're saying is, if you were to fund this benefit, what does this benefit cost? It's about 1.8 million, as you can see, which comes out to about 17.09% of pay. So that's what you're providing to the, to your retirees and your future retirees. Now, the coverage you do provide, if you go back to page, I believe it's 3, starts on 3 and continues on to 4, you'll see the PBA eligibility requirements. You are providing full retirement health benefits to the PBA retirees, although as of June 17, 2016, there's a 15% copay, okay? So that is in place, so that helps with the cost a little bit. Page 4, for non-uniformed employees, kind of a similar thing, and we have that 15% copay for employees that are hired after January 1st, 2011, okay? So that's what we're valuing with the plan. On page 5, we have the actuarial assumptions. We're using our interest rate of 3.93% to value your benefits. That's based on the bond buyer municipal bond AA index as of the nearest quarter. That's a pretty standard assumption. We assume the pays would go up 4% per year. You'll see the rates of retirement listed for for non-uniformed, and then for police and firefighters. We have a slight termination table. 70% of the Society of Actuaries termination rate for small plans. That's because everybody loves working at the village. There's hardly any turnover here. I see all the data, so I don't see a lot of people leave here, okay? So, which is a good thing. And then we have the mortality assumption, RP 2000 projected to 2024 with a blue collar adjustment for police. The good news for today is that everybody here is living longer. Okay, life expectancy is pretty much in the low 80s now, okay? The difference between males and females has been shrinking. That's because we're driving our wives nuts, okay? They'll tell you that. But, you know, all in all, it's a good thing. But there's also a bad thing. You have to pay for it. Your retirement benefits will go up because the payout period is longer. Same thing for your OPEB benefits. You're paying benefits for a longer stretch of time, okay? So, you know, the Society of Actuaries, which I'm a fellow member of, they've been very, very anal about mortality, okay, for the last 5 years, which I always thought it was kind of like a nebulous assumption that, you know, you're trying to predict when people are going to pass away. I mean, I think it's kind of morbid, but, you know, that's what we do. But I always like to say to myself, okay, mortality improvement with, you know, medical advancements and all this stuff, you know, how's this going to like go on in the future? Nobody really knows. Then of course, COVID-19 came around, right? So life expectancy went down. So, so I'm monitoring this. This does affect your liability. But, you know, I look at the data, I look to see who passes away. I don't think we had a lot of deaths since the last valuation, maybe 1 or 2 of that. So I might make an adjustment on this the next time I see you guys. But, you know, for now, we just kept it the same. We assume that there's a possibility that people can become disabled, a small possibility. We use the 64 Social Security disability table, which is a very high incidence of disability. And we assumed, as far as your married percentage, we assume that 70% of males and females are married with a spouse the same age as the retiree. Back on page 7, we have a scatter, an age employee age and service scatter as of July 31st, 2024 of the 87 actives. And then we have expected average annual payouts for 24 on page 8 and continuing to page 9. 87 actives, as I reported earlier. We have 56 retirees, and on page 9, we have 6 beneficiaries receiving benefits. Okay, so that's what I have. Section 7 is just for the accountants. You don't want to look at that. It's very boring, you know, so it's just telling you that, you know, your net OPEB liability is $24.3 million. Now, it's actually, actually, there is one interesting thing in this chart. If you look at the middle of the page in section 7, you'll see if we lower the interest rate down to 2.93%, it goes to $27.7 million. If you increase it to 4.93%, it goes down to 21.5. So it's going to be in that 20 million range pretty much. And then right directly below, if medical inflation decreased by 1%, the 24 million would go down to 21 million. If it increased by 1%, it goes up to about 27.9 million. Okay, so this is all stuff that the auditor requires. The auditors gave us a lot of work to do. This was like back in, I think I've been doing this for about 15 years for you guys. So thank you, auditor, that you gave me a lot of work to do. But this has to be in your financial statements, okay, for your audit. And I think your audit is just about done.
Yes,
pretty much. Okay, so I don't think, they haven't had any questions, so I think
they're done. They're presenting next month, but yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I'd like to keep it nice and simple. But thank you for the opportunity, and
Thank you,
you know, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. Thank you.
No, thank you very much.
Thank
It's a very uplifting report.
I tried. Thank you again.
Thanks, Jeff.
Have a good meeting.
I warned everybody. I warned you. I gave an opportunity. Thanks very much. You did great. All right, next up is a public hearing. I'll have Lorraine read it because we changed it a little bit.
Introductory
Oh,
number.
yeah, can we do roll call first?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Mayor Jerry Larson,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Chris Minardi,
Here.
Trustee Sandra Melendez. Here. Trustee Carrie Doyle. Here. Trustee Sarah Amadon. Here. Administrator Marco Spaladrone.
Here.
Village Attorney Lisa Perillo. Here.
It's amazing, we're all here.
I know. Okay. Introductory number 25 of 2024, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 196, Noise, Section 196-1A, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Does anybody have any questions? Anybody from the public? Comments? Concerns? Okay. Can we get a motion to close?
I make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Okay. The hearing's closed. Anybody, public comment?
I don't have anyone here
Any
today.
board members have anything to say? Okay. All right, we're going to move into resolutions. Here we go.
Resolution number 1 of 2025, approve claim vouchers for the month of January.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 2 of 2025, approve warrants as listed. Number 22, guarantees, 23 and 24, general fund, 25, general fund warrant, and 26, capital fund.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 3 of 2025, approve budget transfer schedule number 3, reference number 2, dated January 2025.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 4, approve minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting held on December 18th of 2024.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 5, approve departmental reports.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 6, resolve the fiscal year 2025 village budget is hereby amended to increase estimated revenue and appropriations in the amount of $30,000 for expenditures related to public safety.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 7, resolve the fiscal year 2025 village budget is hereby amended to increase estimated revenue and appropriations in the amount of $7,180.85 for expenditures related to the Santa Fest.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 8, accept the donation of $7,180.85 from the East Hampton Village Foundation for associated Santa Fest costs.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 9, accept the donation to the Department of Public Works of equipment donated by Carlos Rodrigo of DCR Tile as listed in Dave Collins' memo dated January 14th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 10, approve the memorandum of agreement between the Village of East Hampton and the County of Suffolk for the one-time public safety revenue sharing additional funding in the amount of $10,600 for public safety expenditures incurred in 2023 by the Village of East Hampton.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Resolution number 11, approved one-day non-resident beach parking permit sale for $500 for the Town of East Hampton residents at 1 Cedar Street on Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Snow day will be Thursday, January 30th.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 12, approve the $750 fee for non-resident beach parking permits as per section 267.5C for the 2025 season with an effective date of February 3rd, 2024.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 13, approve the fee for non-resident monthly beach parking permits for June at $250 each, July at $300 each, and August at $300 each for the 2025 season effective May 1st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 14, approve the modification of building permit certificate of occupancy fee structure as per the January 22nd, 2025 memo from Tom Priato.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 15, approve the status change for listed fire department members, George Wilson, company number 1, inactive, effective October 14th, 2024. Edward Reed, inactive, effective October 2nd, 2024, and Christopher Minardi, ex-captain, inactive, exempt, effective October 16th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 16, approve $9,052.98 quote from Ben Kropinski Builders for soffit repair at the Emergency Services Building, 1 Cedar Street, to be paid from the assigned unappropriated fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 17, approve the $4,497.51 quote from Ben Kropinski Builders for overhead door repair at the Emergency Services Building to be paid from the assigned unappropriated fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 18, approve the $29,767.02 quote from Ben Kropinski Builders for paint on the front of the Emergency Services Building at 1 Cedar Street to be paid from the assigned unappropriated fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 19, approve the $14,698.05 quote from Ben Kropinski Builders to paint the stucco on the front of the Emergency Services Building to be paid from the assigned unappropriated fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 20, approve the $22,585.80 quote from Digital Ally for the annual video solutions subscription for the police department.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 21, appoint Georgiana Slade to the steering committee.
So moved.
Second.
That's for the comprehensive plan, correct?
Yes. Resolution number 22.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 22, accept the new fire department member, Franny Arbreo, engine company number 5, per the January 13th, 2025 memo from Chief Forester.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 23, accept the resignation of Petrona Clinton as deputy treasurer effective January 31st, 2025, and approve the $1,467.44 payout to be paid on February 15th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. I'd just like to make a comment about Rona. You know, this is another example of a young person who can't afford to live here moving away. So it's sad because she's such a good employee.
Terrific.
And we're really going to miss her. So we wish her well, obviously. She's moving to Florida, but it's another big loss for the village. Next.
Resolution number 24, accept the resignation of Kaylin Verity as senior account clerk effective January 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 25, approve the promotion of Kaylin Verity to the position of Deputy Village Treasurer at an annual salary of $70,000, effective February 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 26, approve the increase in annual salary of $5,000 for Secretary to the Planning Board, Lindsay Lapointe, effective February 1st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 27, deem surplus 2 HP Z640 workstations that are broken and beyond repair and of no value.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 28, notice to bidders for construction and installation of a storage facility with bid specs available on January 27th, and the bid opening to be held February 6th, 2025 at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 29, notice to bidders for 2-year Dutch elm disease treatment program with bid specs available on January 24th, and the bid opening to be held February 11th at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 30, notice to bidders for the DPW 2-year sidewalk contract with the bid opening to be held February 18th, 2025 at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 31, notice to bidders for the DPW curb and apron contract with the bid opening to be held February 18th at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 32, notice of public hearing to be held on February 7th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building, 1 Cedar Street, for Introductory 1 of 2025, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 185, Licensed Occupations and Entertainment, Section 185.13, Definitions, 185.14, Registration Required, Requirements and Fee, Section 185.15, Penalties for Offenses.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 33, notice of public hearing to be held on February 7th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building for Introductory number 2 of 2025, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 107, Contractors, Home Improvement, Contractor Registry, Sections 107, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 34, notice of public hearing to be held on February 7th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building for Introductory number 3 of 2025, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 62, Alarm Systems, Emergency Access, Article 2, Alarm Systems, Section 62, 5E1.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 35, notice of public hearing to be held on February 24th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building for Introductory number 4 of 2025, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 278, Zoning, Section 278.7, Fees, Procedure, and Other Submission Requirements, changes to the notice provision requiring applicants to provide notice.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 36, notice of public hearing to be held on February 24th, 2025, 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building for Introductory number 5 of 2025, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 77, Beaches, Article 2, Main Beach Pavilion, Parking Lots, Lockers, and Facilities.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 37, notice of public hearing to be held on February 24th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Emergency Services Building for Introductory number 6 of 2025, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 267, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 1, General Regulations, Section 267.6, Parking Prohibited in Designated Locations during certain hours.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 38, adopt negative secret declaration with respect to Introductory number 25 of 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 39, adopt local law for Introductory number 25 of 2024, proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 196 Noise, Section 196(1A), 8, 9, 10, 11.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 40 of 2025, approve resignation of Kaylee Demai as a part-time traffic control specialist effective retroactively to January 17th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Just a couple of things before we close. Our next meeting will be February 24th at 11 a.m. here instead of February 21st. So just make note of that. January 28th is our one-day beach permit sale for East Hampton residents, and that'll be held right here, starting at 9 a.m.
And there was just, sorry, Mayor, one correction. Resolution 12 was February 3rd, 2025. Just want to make sure that that was
All
on the
right,
book.
got that?
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'd like to announce, which was reported in the local papers, the Hedges Inn has been sold and is now going to be run by the Colony, which is Andrew and Sarah Wettenhall, who's an LVIS member, Sarah is. So we welcome them, and we're really excited not to have this nonsense like we had last year going on, so it'll be really nice to have them in our village. I think they're really going to be very respectful of the neighbors. And when I was on vacation, I met with them in Palm Beach, and we had a nice lunch, and we went over a bunch of things, and the only restriction I had was she couldn't paint the building pink, because that's what her building is in Palm Beach, but it's more appropriate there. So very nice family, so we're looking forward to that. So can I get a motion to close this meeting, and then we're going to go into executive session to discuss personnel and a legal matter?
I make a motion to close the meeting.
All right, meeting is closed. Thanks, everybody, for coming.